I engage. I like talking to people. And I would like to say to you that I think everyone has been given a copy of the 8-point plan. I came with these plans from the engagement that I did in Hillside, Avenues area, Eastleigh, Arcadia, Braeside. I wanted to know the issues that are supposed to be dealt with in Harare Central before I came up with a manifesto. I didn't want to come with my own thoughts or what I think Harare Central constituents want. I wanted my manifesto to be drawn out of the desires and aspirations of the constituents in Harare Central. So I came out with 8 plans, the first one being health, the second one being servant leadership, the third one being to deal with the water crisis, the fourth one, education, the fifth one, business development and turning Harare Central into a special economic zone, the sixth one, which is job creation, labor justice and pensions, the seventh one being technology and youth empowerment, and the eighth one being poverty reduction. Why did I come up with these plans? I realized that our health sector is dead, our public health sector. And I also realized that a lot of people cannot even afford medical cover. And one of the things that I'm pledging to do is to work with the Arcadia community and different communities in Harare Central to create what we call community-based health insurance, which we are going to work with the City Council to have medical cover that will ensure that every person who lives in a vicinity where there's a clinic will be treated for free, and they will be putting in maybe $1 a month, and they'll be able to access health service. And due to the high rates of cancer these days, one of the plans that I'm having is I've been negotiating with different people outside the country to ensure that we can have a subsidized cancer center in Zimbabwe. Most people are dying prematurely because they cannot afford the costs of cancer treatment, and our public hospitals are ill-equipped in that regard. And the second one is servant leadership. Well, saying I believe in leading by serving. I believe in working together so that we can build a better constituency. And I'm here to respect the will of the people and promise to be transparent, accountable, competent, and an ethical leader. The third point on my manifesto is the issue to do with water. I've been to the mayor's office a lot of times, and I still don't understand why we still have dirty water coming out of our taps, why there is no water coming out of the taps in the avenues area and all that. And one thing that I pledge to do is, once elected into office, I will ensure that Harare will have clean and safe water. Because water is life, it is our right, it is our constitutional right, our fundamental human right to have clean, safe and potable water. Number 4 is the issue to deal with education. I realize that in Harare Central constituency we've got very few primary schools. And that is one thing that I'm going to try and lobby to ensure that we have more primary schools in Harare Central, and also have council schools which are cheaper and which people can afford. And one of the education policies in Zimbabwe actually entails that primary school education from grade 1 to 7 should be for free. And I think that is one thing that I want to lobby for in Parliament, to ensure that policies are adhered to. The government has to ensure that the budget is there, not to take our money and put it in other countries and enjoy our monies there and travel wherever they're going, whilst the masses cannot even afford basic education. And I also want to find partners who are sisters to build learning institutions which also cater for people with disability, which will also be able to give the vocational skills that we need to empower ourselves. We all understand the crisis that we're facing as a nation. The basic education that we're getting in our schools is not enough. It does not empower us to be entrepreneurs. Our education system actually teaches us to look for a job after we've been educated. But we also have to think outside the box. How do we empower ourselves? How do we get to teach the younger generation to be self-reliant? And these are projects that I'm working on with our like-minded partners to ensure that we teach necessary skills. And I think it's work in progress. Aunt Pat can allude to that. I actually have a flyer which I had sent around and said, women who want to be given life skills, come up with a plan, and then we can ensure that you get trainings, whether it's freeze-it making, peanut butter making, and all that, and try and come up with starter packs so that you become empowered and you can sustain your livelihood. The fifth one is business development and special economic zone. I realize that our central constituency is full of various historical places, museums, flora and fauna, and a whole lot of things that can actually make Harare Central a tourist attraction. If you've gone to like different countries, you'll find that they're very proud of their capital cities. And that is something that we don't have because we do not believe that we own our city. And we have to start encouraging a culture of saying this is our city and start benefiting from it. Get sponsors to do t-shirts written "I love Harare." Start selling our wares and start being proud of who we are and being active and responsible citizens in Harare. And the next issue is the issue of job creation and labor justice. One of the roles of an MP is to enact laws, to represent, and I really feel that our Labour Act has been violated since time immemorial, and our current legislators haven't done enough to ensure that workers are not abused. I pledge to ensure that the Labour Act will be adhered to, and every worker in Zimbabwe will receive their salary on time, and that they will receive salaries that can sustain their livelihoods. And it is also imperative to note that pensioners are being treated like second-class citizens in Zimbabwe. They worked all their lives, and all they're getting right now is $50 from NASA, and that is a mockery. That is one thing that I want to start fighting for right now, and even if I get elected into office, to ensure that pensioners get a reasonable amount of pension that can sustain their livelihoods. The seventh point is to do with technology and youth empowerment. It's a tragedy that most of the young people in Zimbabwe are now abusing drugs and substances because of idleness, because of lack of opportunities. We have to work together as a community to ensure that we have those opportunities for young people through developing creative hubs. Those are some of my plans. We have to have a creative hub in Arcadia, a creative hub in Brayside, a creative hub in Eastleigh, where young people go there, they engage, they go their computers, we teach them coding, we teach them a whole lot of things. Maybe they're creative, with those who want to do music and all that, so that they get things to do and they'll be able to sustain their livelihoods. One of the other things that I'm working on right now in regards to the youth is I'm still looking for funders to set up a drug rehabilitation center, which is something that we need in Zimbabwe like yesterday. I've tried to lobby the Ministry of Health, and it just seems that they're not interested about it because maybe the ministers are not affected and it's something that they don't think it's important. But for me, I realize that we're losing a generation. And we don't want to have a vacuum behind us where we're just going to have a generation of drunkards, of thieves, of you know what I mean. And I think that is one thing that we have to work together as an aspiring MP and the constituents of Harare Central. And last but not least, I'm very passionate about the issue of poverty reduction. I don't believe that we should be suffering in a very rich Zimbabwe. I'm going to advocate for those who want land to be given land. Whether you want to do chickens, whether you want to farm, or whatever you want to do, it is our right as Zimbabweans to have land. I'm also going to ensure that everyone has got an opportunity to be someone. We need equal opportunities. Our constitution is clear on that in section 56, that we have equal opportunities in this country. This is what I'm offering to the constituents of Harare Central. Thank you.
You know, I'm standing here. My job is to welcome people who come here, and I always love to describe women as a man, because I believe when God created a woman, He wanted a man to describe something.
Hello viewers, my name is Dog Vikela and you're watching Sly Media TV. This is 2018, the year for the harmonized general elections in Zimbabwe. The year the excitement is shooting over the roof. This political party saying we've got it in the bag. This political party saying we will have the majority. At Sly Media TV we bring you a program that takes a journey. It takes a journey into who is representing who. Which constituency is he representing? Is he the right candidate? What does he have to offer? Hashtag the candidate 2018 will be interviewing your candidates from your different constituencies, be it senators, councillors, MPs, even the presidential candidates, and we hear their manifestos, we hear their promises. The good part is, as they promise, you will be able to interface with them. You'll be able to send your messages. You can even send us questions to ask them, what is it that is burning in your heart? If you are an aspiring candidate also, you might feel we'll leave you out, or you feel left out. If you feel you have a manifesto to sell, you can contact us on the details on the bottom of our screen. Sly Media TV, building bridges.